All right. Good morning, good afternoon, folks. How we doing? First of all, I want to say thank you for choosing my breakout room to be a part of. Welcome you, and I feel that you're here because you're supposed to be here. You're here because you're ready to make a shift, ready to rise and do something different in 2026. I want to talk to you about mindset. The kind of mindset is telling you that you have more to do in 2026. I'm talking about that mindset. I'm talking about that voice, that inner voice inside of you that's speaking to all of us because it probably spoke to you to probably come here today. So we all have an inner voice, but we need to listen to that inner voice that's telling us that there's more for us out there in 2026. The inner voice that's also fearful of, what's going on in the future, but we need to go past that fear. That inner voice that's saying there's more of us to ignite. The inner voice that's saying there's more people for us to impact, more purpose for us to step into. The inner voice that's also saying the power of accepting yes and saying yes, the opportunities that come along with saying yes to growth, saying yes to tapping in to the full potential that's locked inside of you. But see, these kind of growth and this kind of transformation doesn't happen in isolation. It happens by building an environment around you. It happens by creating and building people that are like-minded, visionaries, people who think like you, people who are going to inspire you. Because the one thing I know is proximity equals power, but also proximity ignites potential. Just being around like-minded people who are doing what you aspire to do will help you. It will stretch you. It will challenge you. It will help you tap into the full potential that is locked inside of each and every one of us. I know this because a year ago, I had no idea about this platform or people like yourselves. I decided because I heard the inner voice inside of me talking to me, telling me there was more to you, more for you to do. Now, last year was a great year for me as an artist. I'm an actor. I have a lot of things going on right now. I had an award-winning film that I was a part of in 2025. I'm also got the lead for another movie coming out in 2026, where it's going to be excellent. But my inner voice was speaking to me, and it was saying, "You're not living in your purpose. I don't care what you're doing. You're not living in your purpose." Now, I understood what my purpose was years ago because I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of a near-deadly plane crash. I'm a survivor of a train accident 2 months after that. I'm a survivor of a head-on collision car crash 2 months after that. And I'm also a survivor of almost drowning and having a friend of mine's drown right in front of me. Until this day, that's still one of the most horrific experiences that I've ever had to go through. But after going through that, I remember seeing my mother who came down after being called and she broke down hysterically in tears and she said, "Oh my God, what did I do so wrong for all this karma to come back on my son?" And at 17 years old, I said, "What did you do wrong, mama? What did you do right? I'm still here. I'm still standing. I must be a gift from God." So from that point on, I took the narrative that what happened to me wasn't a bad thing, but actually it was a good thing. Now, I don't know how I did that. Nobody taught me that. It was instinctual to me. And because the narrative was I was a gift from God, about 3 weeks later, God came to me in a dream and said, "You are chosen to be a beacon of positive light in any of the people around the world." And once I understood that, for the rest of my life, I understood my purpose. So when you understand your purpose and you're not aligned with your purpose, that inner voice is going to talk to you. Now you got to understand, we all have an inner voice. Now, whether you listen to that inner voice or not is completely up to you. But that inner voice is telling you that you need to do more. That inner voice is telling you there's more in you. There's greatness inside of you. It's up to you to tap into that. Now, because I said yes to the inner voice, which is the other thing I want to talk about, the opportunity to say yes. Last year, 2025, in March, at a event that they were giving, it was a red carpet event for a movie that I was in. I decided to go to the event and introduce myself to everybody because I listened to the inner voice inside of me. Now, I didn't know why, but I said, I'm just going to communicate and be as authentic as possible. I went to the event and I met one individual that changed my life. And he is the co-sponsor of this event. And I didn't even know he was co-sponsoring this until last week, and that's Brandon Gadoris. He was in here, just in here a little while ago. I met him last year at a red carpet event for a film that I did. And because I said yes, and I introduced myself, right? 2 weeks later, the director calls me and says, listen, I think you need to talk to Brandon. Why did he do that? Because he saw what I was doing. He saw what I was about. He didn't do that with anybody else. So I called Brandon. We had a talk. He then told me what he's doing. He said he's doing the A to B con. I had no idea what that even meant. But I knew I was supposed to be speaking to him because I said yes to the inner voice inside of me that will lead you everywhere you need to go. Brandon told me it was an event called A to B Con, and it was getting together visionaries, collaborators, motivational speakers, teachers, and just a host of positive people. And I said yes. Again, saying yes to opportunity. He gave me a free ticket. He said, come on down. I like your vibe. All because I listened to the inner voice inside of me. Now, hear me now. A week before the event, he called me and said, listen, one of our sponsors dropped out. Would you like to be a speaker? I've never been in any situation like this. I haven't been in this atmosphere, but I said yes. Why? Because you have to say yes to opportunity, and God and the universe, whoever you believe in, will guide you wherever you want to go. Now, what he didn't know is I'm an MC. So I'm comfortable in front of the mic. I've traveled around the country. I've been in other countries MCing. So I'm very comfortable with being on the mic. Now, I'm not an inspirational speaker. I had to go to school for that and well, I hired a coach for that to teach me how to do that. But the point is that I said yes to the situation. Because I said yes, I met 3 individuals who I'm in contact with all the time now. One is Jose Escobar, Sifu Raphael, and my man Emilio Roman. I met them at the event. Because I met them, now I'm in business with Jose Escobar and Sifu Raphael. We create our own and co-curate our own events called the New York City Mastermind Experience. That is a direct result of saying yes and listening to the inner voice that is inside of you. That inner voice is what got you here today. Now, I want you to give yourself grace, because some of us are going to listen and we're going to be inspired, but we're not going to make any move. But it's okay. It's okay because you made the move to come here today. So that means you heard that inner voice. So give yourself some grace. But what I am going to say is for you to continue to invest in yourself and get into more rooms like this, because proximity is power. And the more you can surround yourself around like-minded people, people that are excelling, people that are trying to change the world, visionaries, collaborators, the more you can engulf yourself with that kind of vibrational energy, it's powerful. Those kind of frequencies are powerful. I know. I experienced it. Some of the best times I've ever had has been this last year, being a part of communities like this. This is why I'm standing here today, less than a year later, as an authority on From Stuck to Unstoppable. Now, it's taken me 6 months to create this product, but it's because I put the time in, I listened to the voice, and I said yes and did the work. Now, you can say yes and not do the work, and nothing's going to happen. But understand you got to do the work. Now, I created what they call a transformational blueprint that I'm about to share with you. So get your pens and your pads out. Now, this is something I do every single morning, with the intention to get just a little bit better than I was the day before. That is my intention. And I'm telling you, I could see the growth from last week to this week. All right. Number one, you got to take back your mornings. Starting tomorrow, take back your mornings. And what I mean by that is no more just waking up and just kind of sashaying downstairs and getting that cup of coffee and letting know. No, you're going to wake up, and from the time you wake up, you're going to tell yourself what you're going to do. The greatest gift that you can give to yourself is mastery of your mind. That is the gift you give to yourself. That takes work. But you can begin that work starting tomorrow. So the first thing I want you to do is get up early in the morning. Now, I get up 3:30, 4 o'clock every single morning. And I see my man Mike on here, and he knows that to be true. 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning. When I first started doing it, it was very difficult. But you know what? I don't even use an alarm clock now. I get up 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning. Why? To make myself purposely uncomfortable. Because comfortability is where dreams go to die. If you want to build something, make yourself uncomfortable. Do things that everybody else don't want to do. When they're sleeping, you working. When they're working, you working harder. But you got to make yourself uncomfortable. Ask people like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. You only see the end result. You have no idea what they've gone through to be who they are. The thousands of hours they put in early in the morning. Kobe Bryant, I used to listen to him every day. Talk about how he's one of the people that inspired me. He gets up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. By the time the rest of the basketball players are up, he already got 2 workouts in. He said, they can't catch up because they can't put as much work in with me. So it's not about how great he was. It was the work ethic he put in. So get up early in the morning. Second thing you do, as soon as you swing your feet around and you hit the floor, you make your bed. Because making your bed represents organization. Making that bed represents power. They got a whole book on how do you conquer the world. Make your bed first. All our military, when they wake up, they got to make the bed a specific kind of way or they get demerits. Making your bed is powerful. I make my side of the bed. My wife told me to say that because she's still in the bed and, I can't wake her up because she'd be pissed. So I kindly, gently make my bed, side of the bed. Once I make my bed, number 3, you grab that phone. But under no circumstances do you open it up and scroll, look for notifications, or get that dopamine hit. Because that phone is the devil early in the morning. Because that is what they call a distraction. And that's out there on purpose to distract you. You grab that phone. And today I did it. I was able to do it because I actually went to bed and talked to myself and said, yo, don't open that phone up tomorrow. Because the day before that, I got up in the morning and looked at a notification and opened it up. And I was like, God damn it. But you got to give yourself some grace. Understand that you're going to fail, but you just jump back on that wheel and you keep going. So you grab that phone and you go downstairs without looking at it and open it up because you're going to need that phone for number 5. You go downstairs, you pour yourself a glass of cold water, and then you drink it. And while you're drinking it, you feel the water waking up the body. That cold water will wake up that body. And as that body's waking up, that's when you switch on your awareness. And I want you to be aware of what you feel. What is your attitude like when you wake up in the morning? Did you bring your attitude from yesterday into today? What is the emotions that you're feeling right now? Are you anxious? Why are you anxious? One of the things we're not taught how to do is emotionally regulate, especially black men. That emotions are just suppressed. You just deal with them. You don't even deal with them. So we have no idea how to cope with emotions. One of the ways you cope with it is you identify what you feel like. So in the morning, I want you to wake up and tell yourself what your attitude is. Write it down, because when you can identify it and write it down, it gives you strength. You tell yourself what your emotions are. You write it down because it gives you strength. And then you tell yourself, I have no control over what happened yesterday. I have no control over what people think, what people feel. But what I do have control over is my attitude, my emotions, my discipline, and my effort. Those are things that I can control on a daily basis. And I choose to control them. I choose what emotions I'm going into today with. I choose the attitude that I'm going into today with. Why? Because now you're proactive. So if you know a boss like pisses you off just by looking at him, you now know, okay, I got to deal with him a certain way because he pisses me off and he's in control. So now I got to smile. Good morning, boss. You know what I mean? How you doing today, you asshole? You know what I'm saying? But that's what you got to do because you have to be proactive. Now, once you've drink that water and you communicate with yourself, you woke up that awareness. Now it's time to go downstairs. I live in a home, so I go downstairs. You can go upstairs. You can go to the side, wherever you have to do to relax your body. That's number 5. You want to relax your body from head to toe. Now you take that phone and you open it up, and I go to YouTube because I listen to 30 to 40 minutes of positive reinforcement. That is the first thing that infiltrates my mind every single morning before I get my day started. Let it infiltrate your mind. Now, I listen to Stoicism, which is all about mastering the mindset. I listen to that every day. I used to listen to Tony Higgins or Hoggins. I also listen to my man Kobe Bryant is an inspiration to me. Denzel Washington has a lot of stuff out there. There's a plethora of things that you can fill your mind with consistently every day. It's about getting that positive feedback in the brain. The brain is an incredible piece of machinery, and you can train it starting today. And the more positive things that you put in, the more positive things you will put out. The unfortunate thing is that most people around us are negative, and that includes family members. So you need to get away from some family members as well, because all they're doing is filling you with, you can't do, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, and they don't mean to. But it's because it was done to them. They're a shell of themselves, or your friends as well, and they don't want to see you do well. Not because they're not happy for you, but because that shines a mirror in front of them for stuff that they're not doing. So the natural instinct is to make sure you don't do any better than them. It's like crabs in the barrel. That's how it is. Once you listen to, I would say for you, 15 to 20 minutes. I do 30 to 40 minutes. All right, this is a regimen I do every morning. I love it. The next thing after that, you get out a journal, gratitude journal. Okay? That gratitude journal, I want you to write down what you're grateful for. And you have to just do 3 things. I do about 10. I have a book right here that I do every morning like clockwork. I get a chance to do about 8 to 10, sometimes 11. But ask yourself what you're grateful for. And I'm talking about small things that are really big things, like getting up in the morning and being able to breathe air, baby. You got another day to be a little better than you were the day before. Be grateful for that. The other day, my wife was taking down the Christmas. And Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Why? Because my wife creates this incredible atmosphere in the home. And I looked at it because it was the last day. And then I said, I'm grateful for my wife. and what she's been able to do for Christmas. And it just made me start, little misty thing came out the eyes, right? But it was because I thought, how lucky am I? Look at this. I have a home to live in. I have coffee from my grandchild who gave me a coffee cup that I drink out every morning. How blessed am I? How blessed am I to be able to look out in the street and experience nature? These are the things that you have to be grateful for, because when you're grateful, you don't have time to be jealous. You don't have time to be envious. You don't have time to be pissed off because you're too grateful for what you have. Because there's many people that don't have what you have. Trust me. I have oh my God, I have a cousin, a first cousin of mine that I visited a couple of weeks ago in Virginia. My uncle called me, said he's not doing well. You know what I mean? Now, this guy is a quadriplegic and he's a double amputee coming out he was in the war, he was in the army. He survived his sister, his mother, and his brother. He survived. He's been like that since he's 19. He's 50 years old now. They don't usually survive. So the will is incredible. But they asked me to come down. I had just come back from North Carolina. I took the next bus and went back out to the Virginia to see him because I'm blessed. And then you look at somebody like that and he's blessed. Blessed enough to be here 30 years later. And he wakes up and now he's kind of like, I don't know, he's still surviving because this was a couple of weeks ago, but I can get it. I would understand if he was like, okay, it's time for me to check out. But he's still here. So who are we not to be grateful for what we have? You know what I'm saying? So write down your gratitude journal. And number 7, affirmations. Now, I'm a firm believer of affirmations. And I'm not that good with the whole technical thing, but what you do with the affirmation, you go to ChatGPT, right? You put in, I want you to give me 5 affirmations that's going to help me conquer the world. Then you take that and you go to Gamma. And Dr. B taught me this. So, and I did it, and it actually works. You go to Gamma and then you put in the prompt from ChatGPT. Then it'll ask you, do you want how you want it put down? I want it as a slideshow, right? And it will create the slideshow for you, and then you print it out. And when I printed it out, I got stuff like this. You see this? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in a frame. And I'm going to hang up the frame around my office. Why? Because affirmations and words can change the neural pathways of your brain. Do you understand that words are just not communication tools? Words are reality shapers. You can literally shape your reality by what you tell yourself consistently. Write it down. Affirmations are powerful. One of the things I say every day, I attract opportunity. I find solutions and I create my own success. Now, I'm going to tell you how you say it. I'm going to give you the secret sauce, as Dr. Oliver always says. When you speak to yourself, your intention is to evoke emotion. Your intention is to dig deep and implant whatever it is that you're saying into the subconscious and the submind. The subconscious controls the conscious, and the conscious controls the actions, and the actions control your life. You understand that? So when you speak it into your soul. And how I do it is I go to the mirror. I look into the mirror with the intention not just to look at myself, but to look into my eyes, look through my eyes. And I say, I attract attention, or I find solutions and I create my own success. Say that. I just got chills right there. Right there, just got chills. Say that with intention. Say that 10 to 15 times every morning. Use one affirmations for a week, then you use another one. You know, some of the other things I say is, I am not who I was, I am who I am meant to become. I'm not behind. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, building on where I'm going. I don't chase, I attract. I'm the author, not no audience member of my life story. You understand that? Nobody gonna write my story. I'm gonna write my own story. These are all things that I say on a consistent basis. But see, what happens is affirmations, like I said before, change the neural pathways of the brain. Now, when I walk into a room, I walk in with utter confidence. I don't have to do it because I've done the work. And I'm like a magnet. I attract people. I know this, not from being conceited, but being confident. How do you become confident? When you keep promises with yourself. And what do I mean by that? When you say you're going to do something, you do it. When you say you're going to get up in the morning, you do it. And you don't veer from that. Because what happens is the moment you don't do it the first time, then it becomes acceptable for you to not do it the second time. You see what I'm saying? Keep promises with yourself. Start something and finish it. Keep going, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And I promise you, you can do any goddamn thing you want. Because it's the same formula for everything. And it all starts with the offense, which is the mindset. The mindset begins everything. You see what I'm saying? Do we have any questions? Because I know I was supposed to do the whole AI thing, but I'm not that good at it. So I'm just saying, I'll go over it one more time. You know, you go to ChatGPT. This is all free, by the way. It's all free. ChatGPT. You put in the prompt, because I like what Dr. Oliver said. He's absolutely right. You got to be able to put the right prompts in order to get the right information out of you. So when you put the prompt in, what affirmations this was what I put, affirmations that help me to conquer the world. Now you could put something else in, but that's what I want to conquer the world. I want to be the one that's traveling all over this world, teaching Stuck to Unstoppable. So I need to know what I need to say on a regular basis so I could do that. You might have something different, but that's the prompt I'm using. Then you take what they list for you, and then you go to Gamma, and then you insert it in Gamma. And then Gamma will create the slides. It'll tell you all kind of things. This AI is just incredible. And don't be fearful of AI, because like Dr. Oliver Reed said, there's only one you. There is only one you. And all the things that hurt you were lessons. All the things that you've been through have made you who you are. That's the special sauce, not the great things in it. No, it's the things that hurt you the most, are the things that you use as your fuel to ignite the full potential that's locked inside of each and every one of us. Let me tell you something right now, people. Greatness is in this room. Greatness is in this room right here. And it's up to us to help one another, first of all, because it's about helping thy brother and thy sister out. Helping you elevate. And as you elevate, I elevate. Because I continue to work on myself every single day. And I have mastered the art of reinventing myself. Because I have done many things, not to brag, but everything I've ever done has been to take what I've learned and show other people that you too can do it too. You might not want to do what I just did, but know that if you have this transformational blueprint, you can do whatever you want. Here's the sample. I've been in the entertainment business 30 years. I am just now doing my thing in terms of movies. I got a lead coming out. Very proud of that. But it's the consistency. That's the other thing. Consistency of and do what you love, because then being consistent is not a hard thing. But consistency is the superpower. That's the superpower. Because we all have great inspiration and we want to do this and we're inspired, but inspiration fades. Systems and structures last a lifetime. And consistency is the superpower. Trust me when I tell you, because I outwork anybody, because I'm going to keep going to the couch till they kill me. You know what I mean? I got many other things to reinvent myself. This right here is my newest reinvention. It took me 6 months. 6 months. Now, again, I've been a MC for 25 years, but respecting the art of inspirational speaking, respecting the fact that I needed to take time out to create a product, it took me 6 months. 6 months. And now I'm here. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. I took those transformational blueprint and I utilized it every single day. And I'm proud to be here. And I hope and pray that we all grow and continue to grow together. Now, real quick, Dr. Oliver Reed, I didn't even mention this, but helped me write a #1 bestseller. Him and I worked together for 2 or 3 months during the pandemic. When I started to decide there was more for me out there, I knew it. I was listening to that inner voice inside of me, and I called him. No, I didn't call him. What am I talking about? I met him on the internet, which is scary as hell. But I decided to go with him, and he helped me write this book right here. That is Dr. Oliver Reed right there. Much love to you, Dr. Oliver Reed. But I say this to say there's not a thing that any of us can't do, y'all. I became a #1 best-selling author. Had no idea how to do that. But I've worked my ass off, and now I'm a speaker. I had no idea how to do that. But that means that you can do it too. I hope you got something out of it. It says 0 time remaining. So do we have any questions while nobody got no questions?
You were brilliant. That's
Thank you.
it.
And David Hurley, we're getting ready to do this to go to show you the power of connections and saying yes, David, we're going to Ireland to meet with David Hurley to have a mastermind, a New York City mastermind experience in Ireland, and that is our partner right there. A year ago, I didn't do any of this. What does this say? Leave. Okay, leave breakout room. All right. Nice to talk to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.